Welcome back to the Take a Break podcast exclusively here on YouTube. I am your host, KC, and this is the relaxing and informative podcast where we take a break from the hectic pace of life to discuss various topics from mundane subjects to thought-provoking ideas. Welcome to episode 16, and we are talking about working from home. Yeah, working from home. I will talk about my experiences with working from home and kind of give you my thoughts on the subject. Anyways, podcast format is simple. We have the intro, topic of the day, and then community chat. Become part of the community chat. Send me your responses, questions, comments, requests, etc. via email only at takeabreakpodcast@gmail.com. All right, so how is everyone doing today? This is being recorded on Wednesday, March 15th, 2017 at 9:54 p.m. So we are back with a nighttime recording. I think it's been a while since I've done one of these, but there's a reason for it, and there's also a reason why this is being posted on a Thursday. So yeah, let's get into that first during this little intro. So the past couple of days haven't exactly been the best for me and my family. I am actually, tomorrow morning, I am actually flying out. Um, I am flying out, me and my wife, for a family emergency. And we will be away. We will be away. And we will be away right up until Monday. So, that pretty much says goodbye to any prospects of recording a podcast this weekend. So I thought to myself, well, I can just skip this whole week entirely and just record next weekend. But I just pulled one of those recently. So I thought, you know what? It took me 2 weeks to get episode 15. I don't want to take another 2 weeks to get episode 16. So I figured, you know what? Let's do this. I'm recording this podcast now on Wednesday the 15th, even though you just had an episode a couple of days ago. So I'm going to post this on Thursday the 16th, but just pretend that I posted this on the weekend. So this is actually your podcast for the week. So you probably will not get another episode until not this coming weekend, but the weekend after that. So you probably won't get another episode for about 10 days or so. But that way, at least in kind of a 2-week span, you got 2 episodes. So it still kind of averages out. It's just that you get 2 episodes really close together, and then you kind of get a longer break. So again, I apologize for that timing, but the situation is what it is, and I thought I don't want to skip this episode, and you know what? I needed a break too, so I thought, let me record a podcast. Let me just take a break from everything, kind of just forget about what's going on, and just spend some time with my listeners and my subscribers. So anyways, I just wanted to put that out there. So just pretend this is being posted on the weekend, and episode 716. Episode 716. What does that even mean? Episode 17. Will be probably posted March 26th, around that time. So anyways, enough of sort of the not so pleasant news, and let's try try to get into a normal episode here. I'm just gonna kind of for press pause on life right now. I'm just gonna take a break, and let's just have a chat, and let's talk for a bit. So first of all, this is interesting doing a nighttime recording. It has been a while. It's been a while since I've done a nighttime recording. I used to, as you know from my earlier episodes, I used to record right after work, but it's tough. I recorded a couple of episodes on the weekend, and I found it was just a lot better. I was awake, and you know, there's sunlight. So this is kind of back to the basics. It's kind of old school, I guess. Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's dark. It's almost 10 o'clock. I've had a very full day at work, very full day. And it's dark and it's nighttime. I'm looking at the city skyline here. So, yeah, it's kind of nice though. Feels kind of more somber, kind of special, almost sacred, I guess, if that's an interesting word. I don't know if that's quite accurate, but somber is a nice word. Very, very relaxing, a nighttime recording here. And yeah, different from the weekend recordings. I do like recording on the weekends better. Like I love recording on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning. So yeah, so the plan for this is I'm going to record this tonight. But I got a busy day, so I'm flying out tomorrow morning. So what I'm going to do, actually, believe it or not, this is how committed I am to the podcast, I guess. I'm going to wake up super early tomorrow morning. I'm going to go ahead and post this, and while this is posting, I'm going to go and pack, tidy up my place, and then we're flying out tomorrow morning. Me and my wife. So yeah, but yeah, other than that, the past few days since episode 15 have been okay. Obviously, on the personal life, not the greatest time, but we've been going out a lot, believe it or not, just kind of as a distraction. Watched a movie, went out to eat, and yeah, that's that, I guess. But two things actually I want to mention, kind of in the intro, kind of just to lead us into things, is number one. What is number one? I lost my train of thought. I actually have no notes this time, but oh yes, okay, I remember now. So last episode 15. The famous episode 15 where I had to record it twice. I recorded it twice, right? During my explanation, I was listening to the podcast. For those of you that are diehard KC fans that listen to every Take a Break episode, you know that after I record a podcast, I always listen to it in its entirety before I post. At least recently, maybe not the first couple of ones, but now, like, I record it, I listen to it, and then I post it. I don't know. It's just something I do. Anyways, as I was listening to episode 15 and my explanation of why the first recording was a fail, it was pretty vague, and I don't think I explained myself. So I'm going to give it one more shot, hopefully in a more coherent, thorough manner this time. But I believe, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, but I kind of just said, and this is kind of me pretending this is episode 15, saying, so I recorded this past Monday and my brain was fried and I started laughing and I just turned off the recording. Well, you can draw many different conclusions from that. So let me just give a little more background. It's funny, when you're in the moment recording a podcast, you think it's coming out one way, and then you listen to it and it's not the way you perceived it to be. So I thought I gave a pretty thorough explanation of what happened during that first recording of episode 15. But clearly all I said was my brain was fried. So let me set the setting one more time. Hopefully I can do it in a more comprehensive manner this time. So So basically, as I mentioned, the weekend was so busy, I did not record an episode. I was just busy. So I said, let me record on Monday. And, I work all day on Monday. Um, and it was late at night, I think around this time actually. I started recording episode 15. And after a busy weekend and a busy day of work, my brain was just so tired. I was exhausted. My brain was fried. I was pretty much running on empty at that point, and basically, I didn't even have a topic either. So basically, I was just rambling, and so I was recording, and I did the intro, and I was getting to the topic, and just my brain was it was game over. I was just I I kept on laughing because I knew as I was recording it that the episode was going horribly. So I kept laughing this pathetic laugh like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? This episode is horrible. It was one of those types of laughs. So I was tired. My brain was fried. I didn't really have a topic. I was kind of rambling. I was just laughing at myself at how pathetic the episode was turning out. And finally, I just stopped the recording and I just said, that's enough. Let's try it again on the weekend. So yeah, that was the explanation of that. So yeah, hopefully that hopefully that kind of explains things. But yeah, I don't really have too much to say in this intro. Again, I kind of explained why I'm posting this early, when you'll get your next episode. But yeah, also no community chat for this episode. I just checked that I didn't get any emails or comments. So yeah, no community chat for this one. But yeah, I think this is going to be a shorter episode. Again, I actually did quite a few things in the past couple of days, but nothing really I want to talk about. So, would that be? Oh, actually, I know what I do want to talk about. So, if you noticed in episode 15, my thumbnail was different because my actual, my title card, whatever you want to call it, but the title, like the actual video where it says episode 15, Take a Break Podcast, was different. It was actually, so right now, before it was, first of all, it was just all black at one point. Then it became black with white font, like white lettering. And now finally, I actually got it the way that I wanted, which was a white background with black font. So very nice and clean, minimalist looking. Yeah, I was actually, that was my original vision. I actually wanted a white background. I didn't really bother to look it up on Google how to actually do it, but it's kind of funny because I recorded the episode. I think it was episode 14. Let me just see here. Let me just click my own channel here. And yeah, episode 14, I talked about my minimalist podcast setup. And it's funny, ever since I recorded that and talking about how minimalist my podcast setup was, I actually did start experimenting with upping the production value. So it's the irony of that. But anyways, I said, okay, let me try out a couple of things. And I was really experimenting with a few things, but I really did want to have a white background with black text. I find that so much more cleaner. And what I want to actually do is I want to have a bunch of episodes using one kind of standard title or I guess image, I guess. But then I want to change it up every 5 episodes or so. I don't know, maybe a little Easter egg to myself. I don't know if anyone else finds that interesting, but I think it'd be cool if you opened up my channel and you looked at all the thumbnails, that it's just different. You'll have 10 episodes with the black background. Then you'll have a couple of episodes with the white background. And who knows, maybe I might have a couple episodes with the blue background, just a kind of a little, just something nice, just a little twist. So uh, still keeping the minimalist feel, production value, still very easy to do. The only thing is I couldn't the if you look at episode 15, so I guess here's another Easter egg, I guess. It actually fades, the text actually fades from gray to black. So if you actually stare at the text where it says Take a Break Podcast, go back to episode 15, press play. The text actually starts off as gray and it slowly fades to black. Very bizarre. I tried different ways to get rid of it, but the only way to really do it I found was I literally just have to take a screenshot of that while it's a black text, and then just use that. So that's literally what I'm gonna do. So hopefully, if you're watching this, it doesn't do that, because I don't want it to start off as gray and then fade to black. I want it, to look nice right away. So, but anyways, that's a little cool thing that I learned, and I'm glad I learned that, because now I'm gonna have a little bit of fun actually. With that, I think that's gonna be cool. I'll change the background every now and then, and it'll be neat. It'll be neat to see all the thumbnails on the video, especially say I have like 20 or 30 episodes, just to see all these different colors and things like that. So, anyways, I had a feeling that I had a little bit more to say during the intro. I thought I did, but I can't think right now. It's 10 o'clock. Usually I'm in bed right now sleeping. So this is yeah. And again, as you know, I got a lot on my mind. I still have to pack, and yeah, I'm a procrastinator when it comes to packing. I'm a last minute late packing type of person, but that's okay. This isn't a vacation, and so I'm just gonna literally. I have a carry-on backpack. Just throw a couple of clothes in there. I'll just wear one pair of jeans, and away I go. Again, very very minimalist. I'm trying to learn how to travel light, so there you go. But anyways, I think that's gonna do it for the intro. So look, I'm gonna formally end the intro, and let us begin our topic of the day. And so, yeah, again, this is KC. Welcome to the Take a Break podcast. This is episode 16. And today we are talking about working from home. Working from home, my experience with it and my thoughts. Now, I know last episode I didn't really have a topic like this. And I'll admit this topic was kind of a little bit last minute as well. I don't really have any notes, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to sort of string along a coherent line of thought when it comes to working from home. But I just figured, you know what, let me just kind of ramble on, I guess, about working from home. So first of all, what inspired it is a Tuesday. So actually just yesterday. Oh my goodness. Shows you what oh my goodness, that actually felt like you can tell it's been a kind of a stressful week. Honestly, yesterday, Tuesday, felt like a week ago. But anyways, yesterday, Tuesday, was kind of a snow day here where I'm from. And it was snowing. And it actually didn't turn out to be that bad, but it was snowing, and I worked from home. I said, okay, I don't want to commute. I'm gonna go ahead and work from home today. So working from home, I worked from home, and I thought, hey, maybe I should talk about working from home. So here we go. This is our topic. Having worked from home yesterday, still kind of fresh in my mind, let me talk about it. So let's break this up into a couple of parts. Again, I don't have any notes here, but just thinking about this on the spot. Let's break this up first. Let me talk about my experiences with working from home, and then we'll talk about just kind of my random thoughts on it. So for those of you who have been listening, you know that I have an office job. Um, I've been working, yeah, I've been working in offices for a while, although I've had a variety of jobs in my lifetime. I'm in my early 30s, so I've been in the workforce for a while. But yeah, right now I work an office job. I won't get into specifics, but this job that I'm in, I've been in this job since 2015, and I have the ability to work from home. And I, I, I would say on average, not so much recently, but I would say a couple times a month at least I'll work from home. But there was definitely times where I would work from home like maybe like 2 or 3 days out of a week, you know. Um, so I wouldn't go into the office often, but now I do. Now I try to get into the office every single day. But yeah, so I have an office job, but I have an option to work from home. So I can work remotely. I can log on to all our systems via my laptop. I also have a work phone, so I'm able to work remotely as long as I have an internet connection uh, or a Wi-Fi. Even if I don't have Wi-Fi, I can tether to my phone. So I have the nature of my job. I can actually work pretty much anywhere. So yeah. So this is really the first job that I had where I can actually work from home. Now I know there's people who uh, work from home either, if they're content creators. I'm not a content creator, at least not a paid one. I am creating content, like this podcast, but this is not my job. This is just something I do for fun. But my work is a variety of tasks. Uh, from admin to sending emails and taking phone calls and working on spreadsheets and updating systems and uh, operations and this. So it's a variety of different tasks in order for me to do uh, my job. And so there you go. Speaking of work, I don't know if you heard that. There's my work phone going off. So and it's probably gonna go off again. Sorry, a little distracting. I should have silenced it. You figure I would learn since my phone interrupted uh, episode 15. But anyways, so yeah, I have the ability to work from home, and so yeah, and but again, it's not like I'm not a writer or things like that. Although I do like writing, but uh, this is the first time I actually had a job where I can actually do the exact same thing I'm doing at the office, and I could do it at home, and I have the ability to work from home. So there you go. So that's sort of my experience of working from home. So now let me tell you kind of what it's like how the experience is actually like. So, um, and then we'll talk about kind of my thoughts on it. So working from home, it's very interesting. Now, before this job, that was actually one of the selling points of me taking this job. I had another job. I resigned from that job to take my current job. That was one of the selling points. Is I'll be able to work from home when I don't want to. When I don't want to go into the office. Now, there's a misconception that when you work from home, you like kind of do nothing, and you know what? I guess it depends what kind of work you're doing, but honestly, and I'll be honest, working from home is almost pretty much like working out of the office. Aside from the fact that you can kind of sleep in a little because you don't have to commute, aside from the fact that your morning is a little less hectic because, see, there you go, there's my phone going off again. Aside from the morning being a little less hectic in the sense that you don't have to commute, you don't have to get ready. Actually, let's put this into context. So say you start at 8 o'clock. Uh, if you had to be at the office at 8 o'clock, then you'd have to wake up early and eat breakfast and take a shower and change and drive to the office and be there for 8. Now, say you're working from home and you start at 8 o'clock, so you have to be logged on and ready to work at 8 o'clock. you can literally just wake up at like 7:50, stumble over to your computer, and then just start working at 8. And then while you're working, you can kind of half eat breakfast, and you don't have to commute, and things like that. So from the beginning of the day, that's kind of a difference there. So working from home, you can kind of bypass getting ready and commuting. So that's kind of nice. But when you're actually starting to work, there really is no difference. If you have a stressful job and you're working at the office, just because you're doing it at home, there's no difference. I used to tell this to a friend of mine, actually. I said, well, imagine if somebody was beating you up, like physically, and it's painful, and you don't like it, and then you tell that person, well, but I'll tell you what, instead of beating you outside on the street, how about I'll beat you uh, while you're inside your own home? And the difference will be, well, at least you're in your home. You're going to say, well, it's still going to be stressful and painful, and, I don't want to get punched in the head, etc. It's kind of like working from home. Like, at the end of the day, you're still working, right? So working from an office, say you're working in an office and the job is stressful, working at home does not magically alleviate any stress. You're still stressed out. You're still working. So my experience was working at home. Um, it's just as stressful as working in the office. It's true, you're in your pajamas. It's true, you don't have to commute. And it's true, you're inside your home. But I don't know. I found working at home just as stressful as working in the office. And so I guess we can kind of transition to my thoughts. To be honest, I actually like working at the office more than working from home. Working from home is very strange. It's very strange because you're still working like a full 8 hours, 9 hours. It's still busy. You're taking phone calls. You're writing emails. You're doing what you have to do, but you're at home, and it's just as stressful. Just because you're in your pajamas doesn't mean that it's not stressful. And also, too, when you're in the office, you're with your other coworkers, and so you can kind of work as a team and brainstorm and get feedback, as opposed to when you're kind of home, you kind of feel like you're alone, And if you want to talk to your coworkers you need their help, or you need to get paperwork or this or that, you got to call them. As opposed to when you're in the office, you just literally, you know, uh, go up to them and say, hello, hey, I need this. So just on a logistical level, working from home, especially communication wise, is a little more isolating. You have to call or text or email, as opposed to in your office, you kind of get instant communication. And and another thing too is when you work at home, like you're at home. Your home is supposed to be kind of a place, almost like what's the word? Like a sanctuary, like a place that is supposed to be stress-free and relaxing, and where you don't think about work. You go home to sort of retreat from the stresses of life. So when you work from home, it's a really odd feeling. It's almost like bringing home that stress of the office into your home, and sometimes you don't want that. Um, so it's weird. It's both a blessing and a curse being able to work from home. My old job, I could not work from home. I didn't have a work phone, so I couldn't check my emails or my voicemails or anything. When I left the office, I left the office. But now I could physically leave the office, but I can still check my emails. I can still get phone calls. Um, so yeah, working from home is very interesting. And so yeah, so you get that sort of invasion into your space. It's just as stressful. Um, and yeah, the temptation of to like not work is there too. Um, but that's kind of with the negatives. But I'll kind of maybe to balance it. Let's talk about some pros, I guess. I when I work from home, on the days I do work from home, I do like the fact that I don't have to commute. That's always nice. I do like the fact that, like, um, if you're not feeling well, Or again, like yesterday, if the weather conditions aren't nice, either it's too cold or whatnot, it's nice to have that option. I will admit, it is nice to have that option. There are days where, say you're not feeling so great, you're like, you know what, I don't want to go into the office right now. I just want to work from home. You can do that, or you look outside the window and there's a blizzard, and it's like, ugh, no way I'm going through that. All right, guys, working from home today. It's really nice to have that option. And another thing too, because you're not commuting, you're home earlier, because you're already home. So that's kind of so. For example, say you're done at 6 o'clock. So if you were done at 6 o'clock in the office, and then you gotta commute and drive all the way home, you won't be home till say 7 or however long your commute is. But if you're working from home, the second you're done, and you're already home. Party time, So that's always nice too. And also too, hey, look, if it's slow, and I'm not afraid to admit it, and my work already knows this, although I'm keeping it vague. I'm not even saying what company I work for. But yeah, if you're working from home and it's a slow day, then yeah, I'll probably maybe go on YouTube for a couple of minutes, or go on social media, or maybe put on some Netflix in the background, or maybe since I'm already home, maybe make myself something to eat, or walk around, or clean the house. So yeah, that is kind of nice to do. Um, but yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. Again, overall, just overall, I think personally working from home is overrated. I Personally, I think this is the best setup. Actually, I actually like my setup. The best setup is, it's nice to have an office. It really is. It's nice to wake up every day and get up, get ready, put on some nice clothes, and go into an office and say hi to the receptionist, and have a nice desk, and see your coworkers and chat and say, how are you doing, and you have a nice big desk, and this and that, and you have a physical phone and a nice setup, and it's nice to have a physical office. And it's probably good to work out of there maybe 80% of the time, 90% of the time. But it's also nice to have an option where you can work from home, where if you're feeling a little bit sick, or you just don't feel like commuting, or if it's a slow day and you're like, there's no real point of going in, it is nice to have the option to work from home. I think that's a good balance. I think if you're working from home too much, um, like say it was reversed, say you worked from home 80% of the time and you went into the office 20%, I don't know. I don't know if I'd enjoy that. Because there have been strings of days where I did not go to the office for one reason or the other. So I'd work from home for like 3 or 4 days. And by that fourth day, like, you really are going crazy. You're like kind of cooped up in your home, and it's kind of a big blur. So yeah, like, I think a lot of people that kind of work from home, quote unquote, that kind of have this idea that, like, oh, I'm living the dream, I'm working from home. I think those are more content creators, to be honest. I think working from home wouldn't be so bad if you were like a writer, or I don't know, if you're doing content, like if you're like just like an artist, or like this, if you're doing video production, like that could be kind of fun, kind of working from home. But if you're just doing like your office job, but you happen to be doing it at home, there really isn't no difference. Like, it's not like your work is magically going to get cut in half. It's not like you're working from home and then all of a sudden your workload is cut in half. It's still the same work. Whether you're in an office or at home, it's still the exact same work. It's still a 8, 9, 10 hour day. Um, so I don't know. Working from home is really overrated. It's not. I guess people have this idea that when you work from home, you're actually not doing work. Which may be the case. I don't know, but I can tell you 100% from the company that I'm with now, and the job that I have now. When you work from home, you are 100% working. Um, you feel like you're at an office, but again, pros and cons. Yeah, I guess, but again, I guess it depends on the work too. I can imagine working from home again, say like as a writer or writing blogs, yeah, I can see that as kind of like relaxing. But this whole kind of idea, this kind of like, I guess, expectation versus reality, this kind of like cliche, like what you see in the movies or on YouTube, where you have this guy sipping a cup of coffee, relaxed on his couch, with listening to a podcast while he's writing some emails. He's working from home. He's on his couch or he's on his bed. Um, yeah, that could be true, but that's definitely not my experience. My experience of working from home is honestly the exact same as working in the office. Your phone's still going off, your emails are still going off, you got tons of work to do, and yeah, it is what it is. But again, overall, although those are my thoughts, I think overall, as I said, I'm not bashing working from home. I just, I don't know, I'm not as in love with it as I thought I would be. Again, that was one of the selling points of when I took on this job, almost 2 years ago. Um, yeah, that was one of the selling points, the fact that I can work from home. And yeah, it's again, as I said, like, don't get me wrong, it does have its pros, but I really do like working at the office. So that's my 2 cents. I'm curious if I'm the only one. So if anyone is listening to this and you actually do work from home and you love it and you think it's so much better than working at the office, please let me know. I would love to hear kind of the opposite take, or vice versa. If you agree with me, let me know. If you're like, you know what, I totally understand. Working from home is overrated. Yeah. Again, I guess also too, I think people think working from home equals like no work, like that people work from home, you're just staying at home doing laundry or something. But which maybe is the case. I guess it depends on the job too. But for kind of a fast-paced non-stop job like the one I'm working at, yeah, working from home is just like working in the office. So except you're in your pajamas, which is pretty cool, I guess. But yeah, if you have any thoughts on that, please send me an email at takeabreakpodcast@gmail.com. Uh, and yeah, let me know. So yeah, again, that formally ends our topic of the day, but there's no community chat this time. So, but anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. Again, it's a shorter episode this time. So this episode is not as long. I'm just kind of looking at the clock here. I think it's about half an hour. So my past 2 episodes have been half an hour, but once kind of life settles down again, I'm gonna try to I want to get back to those nice 1 hour long podcasts. I like that. I think an hour is a great length. Um, or at least 45 minutes, 45 minutes to an hour, but half an hour is not bad. My first episodes were really short, but anyways, that's my thoughts on working from home. And again, that's also the situation. So even though this is being posted on Thursday, consider this your weekend podcast. So there'll be no podcast this weekend. You will get it the following week. And yeah, thank you for taking a break. Actually, I really mean it. For about half an hour, I was able to kind of forget about what's going on. But yeah, look, keep me and my family in your thoughts and prayers. And yeah, we will see you. Well, you'll hear from me, not see me, but you will hear from me in a couple weeks, I guess, in around March 26th. So we're flying out tomorrow morning, but I'm going to wake up extra early to make sure this gets posted. But yeah, that's it. So you know what? Thanks for taking a break to listen to this podcast. I really mean that. Thank you to all my listeners and subscribers. Thanks for allowing me to take a break, and I hope I could allow you to take a break as well. But yeah, listen, thanks for taking a break to listen to this podcast. This is Casey saying take care and stay well.